that your role have touched the life of another person or another family, whatever it is. So this is one. And that led to another thing. If we touch, we have to touch, you can mention healthcare is one very much. But there are many other sectors. That sector is one that excited us more. Again, healthcare is important. This sector is about what is the nature of education. It's all these words coming from my original word, bonsai. Everything that we are doing wrong, creating that container which limits you, squeezes you, not to be as healthy as you're supposed to be, as normal as you're supposed to be. So this is what we try to continue to pursue that in making sure that we are pursuing in a way we really have the capacity of our own used for the purpose of changing the planet that we have, coming out of the bonsai thing that we have limited ourselves. So we have to create concepts and actions in the way that we can, as fast as possible, come out. And there I can bring another subject that saying the way we created that container by defining human beings are supposed to lead a life by making an income to working for somebody else, jobs. I said, that's fundamentally wrong. Human beings are not born to work for somebody else. That's a tradition of slavery. Human being is a free entity. You have to first accept that word. If you want to get out of the bonsai, this is a fundamental thing. All human beings are independent beings. And all human beings are creative beings. They discover things. They use themselves, their talent, to create new things. That's their capability. And that's what we have to allow them to do that. But then you look at the education system. Education system merely producing job seekers. They take pride in it. If you get a degree from my college, if you get a degree from my university, you get the fastest job possible because our degrees are so important. You get a job. So everybody's luring people to get a job. And as soon as we are born, we are told how to prepare ourselves to get a good job. So our mind is set. Because that bonsai container, we are putting the person in the bonsai container, that you'll be a job seeker. Your life will be spending your life at the service of somebody else, some company or somebody, person, or whatever. So I said, this is kind of total negation of what the human being is supposed to be. Human being is supposed to be creative being. Creativity and job doesn't go together. It's a negation of each other. If you take a job, you follow the line. That's your job. And that's not creativity. Creativity is not to follow any line. You're a free person. Independent person is a free person. Free person discover themselves in their own way and contribute to building new things, not following the old things, continuously challenging, continuously changing life for other people. That's the direction we go. So there we come back again. Conflict, job. And all education system from grade 1 through all the way above are following that path, that you have to find the best position, best degree, best location, etc., etc. So we always suffered for that. We try to change, but we cannot change. Whole education system like that. Luckily, one gentleman from Malaysia, Mr. Al-Bukhari, he was very interested to set up a university. I didn't know him, but he knew me. He flew in to Bangladesh to persuade me to become the chancellor of the university in Malaysia, Al-Bukhari International University. He said, I'll be completing this university once you agree to take the job, become the chancellor of the university, and create the university the way you describe in your speeches. I said, that's a big challenge. I'm here. I can't go. But you don't have to go. You stay here. You run the university from here. We come to you every time I need you. Otherwise, technology will help. But once a year at least, you should come and give an address to the students. He was so persuasive. He repeatedly came, and finally I had to say yes. So Al-Bukhari International University was created. First social business university. Let's give them a big applause. I was very inspired by the idea. And then I became involved and tried to do things and so on. And asked myself, why don't we do it something here in Bangladesh? So now the time has come. This year we are setting up Grameen University, a social business university. I hope during your conversations here, presentations here, you'll know more about it. And this university starts with a logo, Grameen University, dedicated to creating a world of 3 zeros. Purpose is defined that way. Grameen University, dedicated to creating a world of 3 zeros. Other universities have a goal, except giving degrees? Do they say we do this? This is where we are producing this? I think they should. So we thought we should explain what kind of university we're going to have. It will be dedicated to creating a world of 3 zeros. So one of the responsibility of the students will apply, they apply with an essay. What kind of world I would like to create? I would like to see through my work. So it's a competition, imagination. So this university will focus on the imagination of young people, because imagination is power. It doesn't take any money, it doesn't take any effort, nothing. Just you think. Imagination is the biggest power of human being. We can imagine. It's a power because if we imagine, it will happen. If we don't imagine, it will never happen. That's very simple. So why don't we imagine? Why don't we let our children imagine? Imagine it. If sometimes we even harsh on our children because they are imagining something I don't understand, and say, shut up. Do the thing I said you do. You stop them. So the imagination will be something part of this university, how to deal with that. So you'll be trained, you'll be encouraged to set up your own businesses, your own enterprises, hopefully social businesses, but you can create any business you want. But we will encourage you to solve the problem because that's the ability you have in you, inside of you, to make that happen. So this is something, again, transforms, hopefully, the way education should be. We'll be raising all these questions to this university. We need your support to make sure we raise the right question and continue to follow that up, or how we do that. I'll conclude by again congratulating Dr. Khalilur Rahman for giving us a great honor of becoming the president of the United Nations General Assembly. Let's give him a big applause for that. You brought so much honor for the country, sir. So we're so happy. I hope during your period in the United Nations, you'll bring many more honor for Bangladesh. We're looking forward to your success. Thank you. And now I come to the point that I'm supposed to do every year, I do, introducing all the delegates coming from different countries. It's an amazing thing. Delegates came from so many countries this year, and it's such a large number. The largest group of delegates coming this year for the first time, Japan. Just give a big applause. Can Japan stand up? Japan delegation, can you stand up, please? Yes. Raise your hand. Everybody can applaud. Thank you. Thank you, Japan. Wonderful. We are so happy that we had recently visited Abaraki Prefecture, and the mayor of what city? Sakai city, pardon me? Yeah. So they're all here. It's a fantastic thing. It's not far from Sakai city. It's not far from capital city, uh, 2 hours from there. But it's still very beautiful, serene thing. And they are discussing how to make the city a social business city. Could you imagine? So I was very happy. And the mayor is here. We'll be meeting, we'll be discussing this, what he has in mind. And all our friends from Japan, all these years that we have been working together, Izumo-san, Hirao-san, Kawahara-san, many, many friends, they're all here in a big way. They have so many plans with us to create all the things, all the dreams come true with the contingent of the group of people from Japan, 34%. Second highest number is Pakistan. Can you please stand up, Pakistan? Let's give it. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful to have you. Pakistan was always a small group. This year it became a big group. We're very happy to exchange, and I see you're following many of the ideas that we are promoting here, and we'll be very happy to share with you. And thank you, delegation from Pakistan. There are 27 from Pakistan. Malaysia is number 3, 19 delegates from Malaysia. We're very close to each other. Can Malaysia please stand up and give applause? Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you, Malaysia. You have done many things in the way you are the first one who emulate formally microcredit, Amana Ikhtiar Malaysia. Shukr Qasim was supposed to be here, but he fell sick. His health is not good for recent days, and he couldn't arrive, but we sent good wishes to him. He is the first one who, and David Gibbons together, to replicate Grameen in Malaysia. It's still running, Amana Ikhtiar Malaysia. Congratulations, Malaysia, for all the work you've done. China, Hong Kong, 18 delegates. Can we all stand up? Thank you. Thank you, China. We are looking forward to your work and work closely. Philippines, our good friends from Philippines, 15 numbers. 15 from Philippines. Thank you. Another one, fascinating replication, Negros women, Negros women for tomorrow. That's where the replication came about many, many years back. We were sharing what you're doing these days. Nepal, 13. Nepal is wonderful. Nepal has a great story to tell, great story. We are promoting the 30 clubs. 5 young people get together, create 30 clubs. Again, this became a normal with the Grameen system. You don't try to reach big numbers. You start with the small stuff. That's what the Grameen story. 5 people get together and make a group. Exactly these 5 people make a club, 30 club. And we are not going to change the whole world overnight. We know it takes time. But the challenge of 30 club is how quickly we can make our club 30 club in terms of reality, that we practice our life in a way we do not create waste, we reuse things, we make sure we do not create environmental hazards, etc., etc. But even within 5, we may not be equally strong in doing that. We are not unhappy about that. Well, ultimately, I as a person, as a club member, I should become a 30 person. And the theory behind it is, if I can change myself, the whole world will change. Because we are kind of a combination of individuals. If I become 30 person, you become 30 person, somebody else become 30 person, world will become 30 person. But when you say, let's make world 30 world, it's so big for me, I cannot do that. So you don't do anything. But to me, when I decide I want to become a 30 person, it becomes real. Every day I see, am I doing something wrong? Am I violating my own decision? So this is what the young people are doing in the 30 club. There are 7,000 plus clubs in the world now in 37 countries. Fantastic. Nepal is the champion of all. Nepal has, how many? 67 countries, sorry, correction. In 67 countries, 7,000 30 clubs. And Nepal has half of them. Half of the 7,000 Nepal itself has half. Bangladesh has quarter of them. The remaining is throughout the rest of the world. But it's growing. I get surprised that young people really pay attention to it. We started very casually, not knowing whether anybody will pay any attention. They pay attention. They shout at each other if they're violating any of the rule on the internet and so on. So this is something very real for them. For us, at the beginning, we thought it's a distant thing they will create but soon forget. They're not forgetting. They are now having a 3-0 club day, just like Social Business Day. They will be assembling themselves, not coming in the social business, social business day. They will have a 3-0 club day so that they can assemble. So we have attended some smaller version of 3-0 club celebrations and so on. So they are taking it very seriously. China, Hong Kong, 18, I said that. Philippines, 15, Nepal, 13, Taiwan is 11. Let's give big applause for Taiwan. Fantastic, here we are. Here. Okay, we see you. Congratulations. Welcome back. You are always the champion. You come here every Social Business Day and share everything with us. United States, 9 from United States. Can we all see each other? Yes. I see Alex. I see, okay, thank you. Thank you. Thailand has 7. 7 delegates from Thailand. Yes. Yes, we have created so many social business centers in the universities in Thailand. We're very happy about that. Germany has 7 delegates. Yep. Very good. Thank you, Dom. Thank you, Philip. Peter. Italy had 6. Italy, okay. Enzo, thank you. Paula. Netherlands have 6. Thank you. Postcode Lottery, yes, fantastic. We're so happy that the Postcode Lottery is joining us. You've been a wonderful friend. We would like to share our experiences with you and see how we can go together. You have a great path to follow. India have 5. India, let's give big applause. Thank you for coming. They have been with microcredit, with social business for many, many years. All Indian network is a massive network. Unfortunately, we don't have many delegates coming, but we have a huge network of microcredit. Some of the microcredit programs have turned into regular banks. Some became regular banks in work also, which was unfortunate. But we see that their extent of their ability to reach out to massive number of people has been utilized. Spain has 5. Spain. There's a way there. Thank you, I see you. Thank you, but I can't figure out. United Kingdom, 6. Thank you. Congratulations. Kosovo, very dear friends from Kosovo. Kosovo is very interesting. Yes, thank you. Thank you. The whole thing began in the height of the war in Kosovo, when all the male population of Kosovo literally left the country because they cannot survive, because they're being killed right and left. Only women are left behind. We were requested to help them creating a microcredit program. We sent one of our staff, Jannat. Jannat is here. Can you stand up a little bit? Jannat is here. So she was sent. Jannat has no idea where Europe is. Jannat had no idea what kind of weather it is. She never sees snow in her life. But the Kosovo lives under snow all the time, most of the time. So she ended up going there under the snow and built up a beautiful program. It's still running and expanding, and very admired program in Kosovo. Norway has 3 delegates. Norway is another country where social business was spread. Lofoten Island, that's where it was done. And of course, Norway has a great support for all the social businesses that are coming up around the world. Azerbaijan has 3. Azerbaijan. Thank you, Azerbaijan. Good to see you. France has 2. France. Thank you. Thank you. Denmark has 2. Singapore has 2. And the rest, I'll just read the name. Each one of them has 1 volunteer. Oh, sorry, 1 delegate. So when I read out the list, finally we can give applause for all of them. Yemen has 1. Qatar has 1. Vietnam has 1. Indonesia has 1. Turkey has 1. Uzbekistan has 1. Hungary has 1. Romania has 1. Sweden has 1. Canada has 1. Mexico has 1. Australia has 1. South Africa has 1. Kenya has 1. Egypt has 1. In total participant is 220. Let's give a big applause for everybody. You are welcome. We have a great time together. We'll have fun together. This is supposed to be an occasion to recharge our battery. That's how we describe ourselves on this occasion, Social Business Day. Over time, our battery gets slowed down and not have enough capacity as day goes by. But we gather together again in a Social Business Day and talk to each other, getting inspired by each other's work. Our battery is completely 100% recharged, ready to go, and take the whole world with us. And we will win, that's for sure. If world has to survive, we will win. We'll make sure world becomes a world of 3 zeros. That's for sure. We have to do, no matter what happens. As I said, imagination is the power. And we never give it up. We imagine the world that we want in details. And we just keep on imagining, and it will happen. That has a strange power of imagination. Don't give up imagination and act on imagination as much as you can. Thank you very much. Welcome to you, all of you. And fantastic day we have. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now move to the next segment of our opening session. Every dream has a story of courage, of persistence, of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. As you know, we start to celebrate the 50 years of Grameen Bank and 20 years since Professor Muhammad Yunus and Grameen Bank were jointly awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. We honor not only these remarkable milestones, but also the millions of lives that have been transformed through the power of trust, opportunity, and human dignity. This is a celebration of the people who believed that poverty is not inevitable and who proved that another way was possible. Before we hear from those who helped shape this remarkable journey, we invite you to look back at the evolution of the organization from its earliest days in Jobra to becoming a dream that has inspired communities across the world. Please direct your attention to the screen. Thank you.
Famine swept across Bangladesh. Millions were struggling to survive. In the middle of It was 1974. Famine swept across Bangladesh. Millions were struggling to survive. It was 1974. Famine swept across Bangladesh. Millions were struggling to survive. In the middle of it all, a young economics professor at Chittagong University sat with his textbooks and felt them go quiet. Muhammad Yunus could see what the pages could not explain. People who worked without rest, yet could not escape poverty. So he put the books down and walked into a village called Jobra. There, he met Sufia Begum, a woman who wove bamboo stools from before sunrise, yet could not keep a single taka of what she earned. To buy raw materials, she had to borrow from local moneylenders. By the end of each day, she was left with barely enough to survive. He counted 42 people like her. Together, they needed a total of $27. He reached into his own pocket and lent them the money. No collateral, no contracts, just trust.
Conventional banks need collateral. We dismiss the whole idea of collateral. Absolutely no reason why we should have collateral.
That simple act became the beginning of Grameen. From one village, the idea spread across Bangladesh. In 1983, Grameen Bank was formally established.
Mirror image of the conventional bank. Because conventional banks go to the rich, we go to the poor.
Today, it has reached nearly 9 million people, followers, and their families, with women at the heart of the movement. Then came December 10, 2006. The world took notice. Professor Yunus and Grameen Bank were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Across Bangladesh, followers gathered around television screens to witness a moment they felt was theirs too. But for Professor Yunus, the story did not end there. From social business to the vision of 3 zeros, zero net carbon emission, zero wealth concentration for ending poverty, and zero unemployment by unleashing entrepreneurship in all, he continued to challenge the way the world thinks about its deepest problems. His ideas inspired work in healthcare, education, technology, entrepreneurship, and environmental sustainability, reaching communities far beyond Bangladesh. Along the way, Professor Yunus has received some of the world's highest honors. He received United States Presidential Medal of Freedom, the Congressional Gold Medal, the Gandhi Peace Prize, the World Food Prize, among many others. Governments, institutions, and universities across the globe conferred upon him awards and honorary degrees, each one a testament to the reach and resonance of his ideas. Yet, his work was never about awards. It was about creating opportunities for those who had been left behind. It was about proving that the poor are not a problem to be managed, but people with ability, dignity, and the will to change their own lives. When a nation called for change in 2024, Professor Yunus answered. He stepped forward to lead Bangladesh's interim government, driving reforms to rebuild institutions and restore the rights of ordinary people. He restored what had been taken away, the right to vote, the right to choose. Under his leadership, Bangladesh saw a historic and peaceful election, a rare light at a time when democracy is dimming across the world. When his work in government was done, he stepped back, but never away from the people. He returned to his lifelong mission through Grameen family and social business, by the same belief that has driven him from the very beginning, that every person deserves a chance to build a life of dignity. A journey that began with $27, one village, and a simple act of trust. A reminder that lasting change does not begin with power or wealth. It begins when we choose to believe in people.
Thank you so much. What began as a small experiment has become one of the most influential development in the modern history. But behind every milestone, every institution, every global recognition are the people. For Grameen Bank, it's the members. Our first conversation today honors those who have witnessed the Grameen journey from its earliest days. May I invite our distinguished guests to join me on stage. Laila Begum, Director, Grameen Bank Chittagong. Khalida, Director, Grameen Bank Borisho. Anwara Begum, former board member, current General Manager, Grameen Bank Tangai. They'll be joined by Abdul Hannan Chaudhry, Chairman, Grameen Bank, and Shordar Akhtar Hamid, Managing Director, Grameen Bank. Thank you. এবার বলেন। Yes, আমি একটু প্রশ্ন করি। তারপরে আপনি বলেন। Okay.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম। আমি জনাব লাইলা বেগম, চট্টগ্রাম জোন, হাটাজারি এরিয়া, জোবরা এরিয়া, হাটাজারি জোন থেকে এসেছি। আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
Thank you. আপা আপনার পরিচয় দেন।
আমি আনোয়ারা 4 নং লোকেরপাড়া কাঁঠাল উপজেলায় সনি বক্সিয়া গ্রামীণ ব্যাংক এক সদস্য।
থ্যাংক ইউ। আপা আপনার পরিচয়টা দেন।
আমার নাম খালেদা বেগম, আমি বরিশাল জন গৌরনদী এরিয়া সরিকাল শাখা 12 নম্বর কেন্দ্র আমার।
Thank you so much. I would also like to call on stage my colleague for here. Thank you so much for joining us. Today is not really simply about celebrating this institution, but also to honor you. I would like to begin with our representatives with a very simple question. I'll do this in English first, then I'll translate for them. They'll answer in Bangla, then my colleague for here will translate this for you so that you all also understand. So, আপা আপনারা তিনজনের যে কোনো একজন অথবা দুইজন একটু বলেন কেমন করে গ্রামীণ ব্যাংকের সঙ্গে আপনারা জড়িত হলেন এবং এই লোনটার ইম্প্যাক্ট কি হলো, how you got involved with Grameen Bank and the small money that you took as credit, how this has impacted you. বাংলায় বলেন।
আমার বিয়ে হয়েছে 1995।
মাইকটার কাছে
আমার বিয়ে হয়েছে 1986 ইংরেজিতে। সে সময় আর্থিক অবস্থা ভালো ছিল। তারপর 1995 ইংরেজিতে আমি গ্রামীণ ব্যাংকে জয়েন হই। গ্রামীণ ব্যাংকে প্রথমে 3000 টাকা লোন নিছি। এই 3000 টাকা লোন দিয়ে আমি চায়ের দোকান দিছি। চায়ের দোকান দিয়ে আস্তে আস্তে আমার এক ছেলে 2 মেয়ে। আমি কাপড় সেলাই করি, তারপর ওই লবণের টুকরি বানাইয়ে কিস্তি দিতাম। আমার ছেলেকে এসএসসি পাস করাইছি, মেয়ে দুটাকে ইন্টার পাস করাইছি। ছেলেকে কাতারে দিয়ে এখন আমার ছেলেকে বিদেশে পাঠাইছি, মেয়ে দুটা ইন্টার পাস করে বিয়ে দিছি। এখন যে সময় আমি গ্রামীণ ব্যাংকে জয়েন করছি সেই সময় আমার ঘর ছিল মাটির। এখন আমি 2014 সালে বিল্ডিং করেছি। এখন আমি স্বাবলম্বিত হয়েছি। এখন আগে 300 টাকা ডিভিএস করে আমি ডিভিএসগুলো ব্যাংকে সঞ্চয় আমানত করে একটা জায়গা ক্রয় করেছি, মানে আধা ঘন্টা 1 ঘন্টা তো অর্ধেক যা করেছি। তারপরে ঘর করেছি। এখন আমি আর সুখী, আর এখন আমার কাছে কিছু লাগলে লই, তোরা মানে কিছু লই, আর না লাগলে না লই। এখন 50,000 ঋণ আছে, আগে লাখ নিতাম, এখন নি না। এখন কম লাগলে কম লই, বেশ লাগলে বেশ লই। ডিপিএস করছি 1500 টাকা, সঞ্চয় আমার 200 টাকা।
Okay.
প্রতি
Yeah,
সপ্তাহে।
thank you so much. I'll try to quickly translate. She was married in 1986. Slowly she became part of the Grameen Bank family. She started to take loan up to 3,000 Bangladeshi taka. At that time, that was probably, I don't know, $15-20. She has 2 kids. Her son, who graduated and then went abroad to work. Her daughter, she finished her higher secondary school education, then she was married. In 2014, she has also bought a piece of land, and in the past 10 years, she had more than 100,000 Bangladeshi taka as loan. Now this has slightly reduced to 50,000 taka. Thank you. আপা আপনারা কেউ একবার বলবেন, একটু বলেন কবে আপনার গ্রামীণ ব্যাংকের সঙ্গে সম্পর্কটা শুরু হলো? মাইকটাকে একটু উপরে নেবেন। আর এখন আপনার লাইফের আপডেট।
আমার এই গ্রামীণ ব্যাংক 2004 সালে আমার আসা।
জি।
2004 সালে আসাতে আমি 5,000 টাকা লোন করি। লোন করার পরে আমি ছোট একটা গরু কিনে আমি আস্তে আস্তে স্বাবলম্বন হওয়ার পরে আমি আমার স্বামীর হাত ভেঙে যায় 2 বছর পরে 2006। তখন আমার কোনো করার কিছু ছিল না। তারপর আমি একটা লোন করে আমি সেন্টারিংয়ের মাল কিনি, ওই কাঠ বাস ওগুলো কিনে আমি ভাড়া দিতাম ওই গ্রাম ব্যাংকের লোন উঠাই। পরে আমি আস্তে আস্তে গরু বাড়াইতে আমি অনেক কিছুই করেছি। আমি মুরগির ফার্ম দিছি, আমি মুরগির ডিম ফুটাইয়া ওগুলো আমি করছি, মানে বাচ্চা বড় করে বিক্রি করি। আমার ছেলে নাই, আমার শুধু একটা মেয়ে, ইন্টার পাস করাইছি সম্পূর্ণ। আমি শুধু জিরো ছিলাম, আমার একটা ঘরও ছিল না, আমার একই ঘরে আমরা দুজন থাকতাম। তখন আমি একটা বিল্ডিং করছি, আমি 100% সম্পত্তি করছি, আমি গরুর ফার্ম দিচ্ছি এই গ্রাম ব্যাংকের টাকা থেকে। আমার 6,70,000 টাকা আমি লোন করছি, এখন আমি চালাই। আমার একটা মেয়ের জামাইকে আমি গ্রাম ব্যাংকের টাকা দিয়ে বিদেশ পাঠাইছি, সৌদি। আমার অনেক গর্ব, এই গ্রাম ব্যাংকটা আমার নিজের, মানে আমার মায়ের মতো, আমার বাবার মতো, এরকম আমি স্নেহ করি এই গ্রাম ব্যাংকে। আমার মা ছিল 90 সালে এই গ্রাম ব্যাংকে, আমার মা অসুস্থ পরে আমি এই গ্রাম ব্যাংকে সদস্য হয়ে আমি অনেক স্বাবলম্বী হয়েছি। এরকমের গ্রাম ব্যাংকে আমাদের শত শত লোক সবাই চাই যে স্বাবলম্বী হোক, নারীদের ধরে এটা হোক বড় হোক, মানে গরিব এলাকায় সবাই একটা স্বাবলম্বন হয়েছে এই গ্রামীণ ব্যাংক পাশে রেখা। এই গ্রাম ব্যাংকে লোন দিয়ে আমরা ডিপিএস করছি, আমাদের আছে ওই যে শেয়ার হোল্ডার আছে আমাদের বিভিন্ন, আমাদের লোন 2-3 প্রকারকে, আমার অন্য কোথাও যাইতে হয় না। আমাদের যেমন 6 মাসে একটা লোন দেয়, মাসিক লোন দেয়, সাপ্তাহিক লোন দেয়, আমরা সবটাই গ্রাম ব্যাংক থেকে পাই। সেজন্য আমরা যারাই আছি সবাইকে বলি যে আপনারা দূরে কোথাও যাবেন না, আমাদের গ্রাম ব্যাংকে যান। আমাদের গ্রাম ব্যাংকে আমি বাহিরেও গেছি, আইসা সবার কাছে বলছি যে গ্রামীণ ব্যাংকের মতো কোনো হারে পাবা না, বহুত আশা কাশা ব্যাগ আছে কিন্তু আসবে না। আমার অনেকে বলতো যে আপনার টাকা সব মার যাবে, আপনি যে ব্যাংকে রাখেন টাকা। আমি যে না, কোনো দিনই না। শতে শতে গ্রামীণ ব্যাংক, মানে অন্য অন্য জায়গা থেকে টাকা মার দেয়, আমাদের গ্রামীণ ব্যাংকে টাকা মারে না। আপনি দেখেন, আপনি যাচাই করেন, কিন্তু আমাদের গ্রাম ব্যাংক 100-র ভিতরে 100 আছে। আমরা 90% গ্রাম ব্যাংকে আমরা মালিক, তাহলে আমরা টাকা মারবো কার? আর এই টাকাটা আমাদের নিজের, আমরা চাই নিজে সঞ্চয় করে রাখতে।
Thank you so much.
স্যার, এই পর্যন্ত আমি শেষ।
Ji.
ধন্যবাদ।
Thank you so much. So her story is of 3 generations. Her mother became a member of Grameen Bank in 1990s. She became a member in 2004. She took Bangladeshi taka 5,000 as a loan. She bought a cow. She started rearing it. Her husband had an accident in 2006. She found it really difficult to run the family. She didn't have a house. She went back to Grameen Bank again. She took further loan, which went up to 6,50,000 taka. She had a chicken rearing business. She bought a land. She doesn't have a son. And you can imagine how difficult this might be for parents in Bangladeshi villages if you don't have a son. But she had a daughter. She made sure that the daughter is highly educated. She built a house for the family from nothing. She built this. Now she campaigns for Grameen Bank in the villages. And she's saying, and for many institutions, there are sharks who comes and takes the money away from banks, but not from Grameen Bank, because it's owned by our members. 90% of this ownership stands with these members, and they are the guardians of Grameen Bank. Thank you, Appa. Now, Appa, would you like to say something? Apni ekটু বলেন।
গ্রামীণ ব্যাংকে ঢুকে আমি প্রথমে 2,500 টাকা নেই, নিয়ে মুরগি কিনি, তারপরে ওইটিতে ডিম বেচে কিস্তি দেই, তারপরে আবার 5,000 টাকা উঠাইলাম, 5,000 টাকা উঠাইয়া গরু কিনি। গরু কেনার পরে আরো টাকা দিল, ওইটি লাভ হইল, পরে আবার গাই কিনলাম, এমনি করে বাড়াইলাম। তারপরে আস্তে আস্তে বেশি টাকা উঠাইয়া মুরগির ফার্ম দিলাম, নেয়ার মুরগির ফার্ম দিলাম, ওটাতে ভালোই লাভ হলো। গ্রামীণ ব্যাংকে ঢুকে ঘর দিচ্ছি, ঘর আসছিল না, সোলার বেড়া আসছিল। তারপর মেয়ে লেখাপড়া করাইছি, ইন্টার পাস করাইছি, ছেলে লেখাপড়া করেছি, মাস্টার্স পাস করাইছি, ছেলে এখন চাকরি করে, এখন মোটামুটি ভালোই আছি।
থ্যাংক ইউ। আপা, আপনি কবে মেম্বার হয়েছিলেন?
আমি 94-তে।
Okay, she became a member of Grameen Bank 32 years ago. She didn't have a house. She took out 2,500 Bangladeshi taka as her first loan. She started chicken rearing a business. Then she took out 5,000 taka. She started she bought a cow, and then she had her third loan. This time, she didn't buy just chickens or cows. She built an entire farm. She has 2 kids, 1 daughter who went to college. She has a son who finished, who has a master's degree now, and he has a job. She has a house, and she has a beautiful family. Thank you so much. Can we appreciate these borrowers? Now, from hearing all these amazing stories to the current leadership, to the chairman of Grameen Bank and the current managing director of Grameen Bank, we all more or less know about the story of Grameen Bank and the impact that it's had in wonderful borrowers and that has inspired us. And we celebrate the 50 years from now for the next 1 year. Where do you see Grameen Bank in the next 50 years?
Well, thank you very much. First of all, let me make it clear that I was working with the social business, academia, social business work with Professor Mohammed Yunus for more than 17 years. But I became the chairman of the Grameen Bank when Professor Yunus has become the chief advisor of the country. But I would say that I'm blessed by knowing the 10.66 million women that we have been able to change and the actions that has been taken by the Grameen Bank in terms of reaching the bottom pyramid of the society, especially starting from the rural village of Bangladesh. This is a bank that many of you know that have been here for 50 years, but I was actually trying to see that the impact part, how this bank started and also created so much impact, not only the changing life of the women's, but also their family and their future. Bank is not only lending money. This is the bank, they do care their customers, they do care their clients, they are the borrowers, they are the owner of the bank, and they, through this elected process, every year we get actually 10 individuals to be elected on the board. They are sitting on the board with us, and I see personally that, well, how this bank has been actually created enormous changes in the bottom pyramid of the society, particularly the women's lives. And this was the bank that was actually suffered, during the last government. And when we took over, we tried to make sure that, well, this is the bank that we cannot even deviate from anywhere. Let me tell you one thing, that this is a bank grounded in so solid foundation of the strategies, policies, and also the implications that even the earlier government tried but could not dismantle many of our operations. Nothing happened inside the bank, and we kept everything intact. And many of you know that our conventional banks during this last 15, 17 years was struggling, and still we see a shattered economy. But Grameen Bank is a very strong bank. We do have their investment inside the bank. We put other places for investment, and every one of our borrowers, they get the benefit out of this bank. We are not only talking about their life changing, and we are talking about their education of their children, the healthcare and other aspects. We are bringing one after one initiatives within the bank initiatives and trying to give all sort of services from bank. So I being the chair of the Grameen Bank, I'm feeling great to be part of this, movement of changing the bottom pyramid. And I am also very proud to have my managing director. While I became the chairman, we got a new managing director now that many initiatives in terms of the future plan of this bank is going to go to the technology part, and he's going to give those, In
a couple of sentences, if you want to say, where do you see Grameen Bank in next 50 years?
First of all, thank you. Thanks to Grameen Bank board and the chairman for giving me the opportunity to lead this mammoth, iconic organization. It's a huge responsibility, I can tell you. 2,528 branches, 24,000 plus staffs, 10 million customers. Sometimes it keeps me wake up at night. But the question which has been asked, and I would say that where do we want to go in next 50 years, or what is Grameen 3.0? We have seen Grameen 2.0. Grameen 3.0 is living in present and foreseeing the future. For a bit of explanation, after, frankly speaking, Professor Dr. Mohammed Yunus left the operation of Grameen Bank, and Sir taken over and brought me in as managing director, the gap within that period was basically a hibernation Grameen Bank was in terms of innovation and in terms of adoption, the change of time. So that's basically what we are looking forward. See, our entrepreneurs are now trying to aspire to step into digital space. They want to sell their product online. They want to come into Facebook, F-commerce, e-commerce, but somehow they are not getting connected to the market because of the digital divide we have. It starts with my staff. My staffs are not that much of digitized. So what Grameen Bank has started doing is first, it's transforming its latest banking operating software. And at the same time, we are transforming our staffs to embrace the changes that has been taken in the digital space. We are now distributing inspiring knowledges that how we can digitize ourselves. There has been trainings and workshops going on to empower our staffs with the digital and digital devices. And slowly and gradually, we will take it to our customers. The primary plan is we want to connect with a digital wallet where we see the opportunity to take Shomadhan as a partner and increase the horizon of this digitization. We want to take help from Grameen Distribution Limited, who is producing affordable handsets, and we have 130,000 centers. We want to equip all these centers with assisted handsets so that customer can get the feeling of digitization, get the feeling of how to touch and feel a device. And slowly and gradually, they will inspire to buy affordable handsets and start landing into that digital space that we are talking about in terms of F-commerce, selling their products in the digital market. I can tell you one thing, that the center concept that Grameen born in 1976 has come a long way. Probably the future center is not the physical center of 33 to 35 women sitting under a shed. It will be a center, 33 women manufacturing same kind of product and clubbing those products in a basket. Through that, we can export it outside the country.
Okay, thank you so much.
If
Thank you.
Grameen Bank looks into next 50 years, this is the vision of Grameen Bank for next 50 years.
Thank you so much. We wish you good luck in your digitalization efforts, and thank you so much. You have really inspired us. Ladies and gentlemen, another heartfelt round of applause for our pioneers.
Thank you.
We now, yeah, you can have the music on for a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, we would now like to bring in another perspective. The Grameen story isn't only about expanding access to finance. It's about expanding opportunity, about building confidence, and creating leaders who went to the villages in farthest corners of our country to empower the borrowers. Our next guests have each played an important role in shaping that journey over many years. Please welcome our next speakers, Nurjahan Begum, former Acting Managing Director, Grameen Bank, Khalid Shams, former Deputy Managing Director, Grameen Bank, and Professor S.M. Hujjatul Islam Latifi, former Managing Director, Grameen. Thank you so much for joining us. I have one very simple question, and you all can reflect on this. You will get 1 minute each. Sorry about that. Across your long journey with Grameen, can you share one defining moment that captures the true spirit of this movement and why it remains meaningful to you today? We start with Khalid sir first.
Greetings to all the participants of this conference.
Sorry, to upore then? Okay.
Greetings to everyone. I'm Khalid Shams. Professor Yunus was a year senior to me in the university. So as you said, most dramatic moment in my life was when I met him, not in the university, but back in 1979, when I was in the government. I was a civil servant, and we had the training academy where the students had to go out into the village and do a short study about the efficiency of government's delivery of services. And one of the reports, of course, came out with what Professor Yunus had done. And we invited Professor Yunus back to the academy to listen to what our students had to say. So I would simply like to say that was a big moment when I found out that for the first time we have a program where government had failed in the past to deliver financial resources to people in the villages, the poor people. And here we have an eccentric professor who had this strange idea that you could give small amounts of money to the poorest of the poor. And for me, it was a great experience when I joined him as his deputy managing director in the bank, and to see how the Grameen idea has caught on. And I especially paid tributes to the people who were initially involved with the replication of Grameen idea. I worked for the Asian Pacific Development Center, and I remember with lot of fondness, lot of excitement, and how Professor David Gibbons, my colleague, Mike Getubig, and of course, Professor Enchik Shakur from Malaysia, they started the first replication. And after that, it was demonstrated that what Professor Yunus had established in Bangladesh, the idea could go around and it could spread and it could be implemented. So I would say that was the real change that I had witnessed. It was an experience of discovery. And I think I spent the most exciting time in Grameen Bank. I've seen the work of the government. I've seen the work of an institution like Grameen Bank, led by Professor Yunus, and found that the government was like a big ship, big tanker, that could only stop in the big ports and the harbors, whereas Grameen Bank really created small dinghy boats which go out into the very remote areas and reach the people. And that's where I think the government has to now learn how to deliver services to the remotest area to very ordinary people. So thank you, Professor Yunus, for what you have done, and special greetings and tributes to all those people, including Professor Latifi and Nur Jahan, who had initially contributed to spreading this idea of microfinance targeted at the poorest of the poor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now moving on to Nurjahan Begum Appa, this one defining moment in your life and why it remains relevant today.
I will start with a story.
Please.
Nurjahan and her husband came from very, very poor family. Her husband was lazy, and that's why Nurjahan has to work. She came out and she started to work in the village as a maid. They have their child, but one morning her husband disappeared from the home. He left behind the child and wife. So Nurjahan what she will do. Another problem came back again. Her in-laws doesn't allow her as an abandoned woman to keep in the home. She forced to leave the home. So she built a small stuff and start to leave this place. But she never forget to keep one sharp knife beside her bed, beside her head, to protect herself from any possible danger. She came to know about Grameen. She took one after one several loans for run a business like paddy husking, goat raising, cow rearing, pup rice, etc. And she worked hard. And for her good performance, she able to take housing loan with a sanitary toilet. And she built her house, she purchased the land, she built her house through her business. And she was not only working for herself, she also helping her fellow member. So she became the center chief of 40 people. And as a center chief, she also helping other fellow members to develop themselves. She was guiding them. And what happened? After she developed herself through earning income, she has everything in her home. Now her husband wants to come back and join with her. So her response was, can you swallow back your pick? That's you chew off. So for me, this is the dignity of life. Why I thought this is the dignity of life? I have to go back 50 years before what was the situation of the women. During that time, I saw in Jobra and many other villages, women treated as an abandoned show. No respect, life hunted by poverty, illiteracy, ignorance, lot of superstitions. Women themselves believe that their heaven lies under the feet of husband. There was a lot of common proverbs. One like, a man is lucky whose wife die, a man is unlucky whose cows die. That means woman's life is much more odds than the animal. So the opportunity, Nurjahan and others, millions and millions members, got the opportunity to came up from that situation. So I think if the poor, especially women, get the real opportunity and good technology, proper technology for them, they can immediately come out from this kind of situation, and not only that they develop themselves, they change their situation, they change their condition, they also change the societies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Appa. Now, let us hear from Latifi sir. Sir, one defining moment in your journey with Grameen and why this is still relevant today.
Assalamu alaikum. It is good to be with you here to learn from your experiences and to share our mission. We are committed to building a poverty-free world, a world of 3 zeros, as announced by Professor Yunus. We hope that if we continue to work and remain committed to our mission, we'll reach our goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your leadership and for inspiring us. And I will now request my colleagues to guide you towards your designated seats. Sir, আসেন আমার সঙ্গে. Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Now let us hear from another set of pioneers, an idea born in a Bangladeshi village, eventually crossed borders, cultures, and continents. Today, the Grameen model has inspired organizations around the world, each adapting its principles to meet the needs of their own communities. And just 20 minutes ago, Professor Yunus sir mentioned about many such organizations and the communities where they have their impact. So we are delighted to welcome some of the leaders who helped carry that journey forward across the world, also in Bangladesh. Mr. Shankar Mansreshta, Chairman for Self-Help Development. Suzette De Gaston, Executive Director, President, Negros Women for Tomorrow Foundation, Philippines. Dolores Torres, Senior Management Advisor, Card Bank, Philippines. Mr. Johirul Alam, Founder and Executive Director, Integrated Development Foundation, Bangladesh. Can we have my guests on stage, please? Thank you so much, everyone, for coming to the Social Business Day and for joining us in this special segment. So my question to you, and I would like to request you to reflect in one sentence, maybe in a minute. When you first encountered the Grameen Bank model, and what convinced you that it could work in your own context? We start with Shankar, sir.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to congratulate and felicitate Professor Muhammad Yunus on the occasion of the great Golden Jubilee celebration and 20th anniversary of the Grameen Bank and Professor Yunus awarded with Nobel Peace Prize. So I also would like to congratulate the entire family of Grameen Bank and Grameen Bank staff and members, and also all those who are practicing Grameen model worldwide. With regard to my connection with Grameen, for the first time I met Professor Muhammad Yunus in 1980 in Kathmandu in a seminar on microcredit policy, where Professor Yunus had presented a case of Zoriman, and others. So I was very much impressed with his presentation. And later in 1986, when I visited Grameen, I visited Bangladesh, I take the opportunity to see Professor Yunus and also Nurjan Begum. And I spent whole day in visiting the Grameen members and also the branch and the operational modality sort of things. And I was so impressed. And on that very day, I felt that I should replicate Grameen type of microfinance in Nepal also, where we have been involved in microcredit program. I was the Deputy General Manager of Agriculture Development Bank, but the way we have been performing that model of ours is not really reaching the poorest of the poor. But Grameen has been very much able to reach the hardcore poor. That has been the beauty of Grameen. So I determined to start Grameen, and I get retired from the Agriculture Development Bank, and I wrote a letter to Professor Yunus how I could have the microfinance be replicated in Nepal. And Professor Yunus invited me to attend a dialogue program, and after dialogue, I got 50,000 US dollar as a seed money from the Grameen Trust.
Grameen Trust.
That is how I started, and then my replication vision has been a reality.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Now, let us ask the same question to Suzette.
Well, the question is...
The question is, what inspired you to start a Grameen replication program, and what made you think it could work in your own reality?
Actually, Cecile and Cora and I were always together in many projects after college, after working. We thought it was payback time after having a good education and having a comfortable life. So it was payback time to the communities. So we started so many projects. We had feeding programs, educational TV, a women's cooperative, but it was all short-lived. But fortunately, at one time, our governor was in New York, and he was able to attend a conference where Professor Yunus was the speaker, and Professor Yunus was talking about Grameen, and our Governor Lacson was so excited, and he asked Professor Yunus if he can send a team to study, and Cecile was in that team. So that was the start of NWTF and Project Dunganon, and up to now, whatever is the new project or of Grameen, we have always tried to follow.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dolores Torres. Yep. Dolores Torres, what was the story and what made you think it could work in your own community?
Yeah, good morning. CARD was established in order to help the landless women. So the moment we heard about Grameen Bank, and that was when Dr. Alip was part of the Governor Lacson's delegation with Cecile, he was very inspired that it will work. We totally agreed because at that time our credit and savings program has a dismal repayment rate of only 50%. So we said if we didn't know about Grameen model, we will have to close. So the moment we heard of Grameen, and we were invited by Professor Yunus to come over, live at the area office, visit center meetings, talk to the women members, that was what we needed at CARD. So we started replicating in 1989. The first 89 women who repaid at 100% are still alive now. Most of them are still alive, and they were the models that we use in order to encourage women to be that disciplined, to attend center meetings, repay on time, and that's how we really started. And we can say now that the Grameen model and the Grameen experience that we have became our formation in order to face the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and establish a bank. Now we have CARD Bank, we have CARD SME Bank, we have CARD MRI Rizal Bank, 3 banks, all working for the poor women, and most of it are partly owned by the women members who have, developed very high credit discipline and are very supportive to the CARD initiative. So we have 3 banks now, but in total we have 34 institutions. The biggest is an insurance company that is 100% owned by the members, women members and only, and it is ensuring 70% of the insured Filipinos right now, and they own it 100%. That's the major contribution that the Grameen model has made, and we don't stop imagining. In fact, we continuously dream. So now we have 34 companies at CARD following the footsteps of the Grameen Bank. We have IT companies, we have 4 insurance companies already that are owned by the clients. We have pharmacy, like Shuki Pharmacy. We have school, and we are also coming more often at the University of Grameen for starting a nursing and eventually medical school. Right now, we are establishing a hospital. We established several clinics all over the Philippines in order to support our women members. And the 20 pesos that we started, just like the Grameen started with $27, but we started with 20 pesos. It is now more than $3 billion. So thank you, Grameen. Thank you, Professor Yunus. Thank you.
Thank you so much. One trip to Bangladesh, to 34 companies and more. Thank you. So my last speaker for this slot is Mr. Johirul Alam. What made you think that you can replicate this model in Bangladesh? And what was the most powerful lesson that you had while you adopted this model?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, in fact, if I want to tell about my causes of involvement, then I have to go back to 1973. So, in fact, we know the story from 76, but Sir mentioned this morning that before that, he had to do a lot of work, research, surveys, and visiting villages and knowing the people, knowing the economic condition of the people, and that time the situations also you have seen in the documentary. So what he did, he established a research unit at the Department of Economics, and through which the teachers and students were involved. And Professor Latifi gave a lot of time to him, and our teacher, Mr. Sekandar Khan, gave time. Among the students, I was the first. I was lucky to be selected by Sir to work with him as his assistant for initial days activities, surveys, research, and going to villages with him. And so this was wonderful. I think I feel proud that I was selected, I was part of the story. So then it was really, I amazed the dedication, the commitment, the passionate, and the sacrifice. And he made for this purpose, for creating this world. This is really amazing. For ordinary people like us, it's not possible. It's maybe God-gifted. So then you see, I started 1976, and then it's tried in Tangai, people criticizing that's why. Then also after the successful implementation, central bank implemented is, and then in 1983, government passed ordinance, Grameen Bank ordinance, but during the mid-1980s, the other many NGOs followed the Grameen principles and reshaping their programs and policies in line with the Grameen Bank. Because before they used to work with the relief, with the grant from the donors, and used to work. But after that, and that organized there. But in our case, because I was just really, really impressed, and my heart was here, because then for some time I went to work with the United Nations, and then I came back in 1992. And then when I came to work with Sir, with our professor, Nobel Laureate Professor Yunus, but then Grameen Trust suggested me to work in Chittagong hill tracts in Bangladesh, a remote area, hilly area, inhabited by about 14 ethnic group, and what situation was going there. It was very difficult. Even I would not have known about this situation. So I went there, and it was very difficult to organize them, but anyway, we piloted, we implemented the Grameen principles there, and now, in fact, the IDF is one of the largest organizations there, and also we spread in other places. But we are trying to follow and implement the philosophy of Professor Yunus, and it is an integrated approach where we have health, education, then others, this solar.
And 30 clubs.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
IDF is the largest supporter of 30 clubs in Bangladesh.
Yeah, then, yes, now we have been able, you see, to develop or to customize this one where all the services, integrated services under one umbrella as per the philosophy of Professor Yunus, and we have been, I think, able to do it, and I hope, so this can be, way where we are also working now on 30s and health and also clubs, and then I believe that we will be able to create a new world as per philosophy of the Professor Yunus. And another thing was that the network, the replication of Grameen model throughout the world. So we have also created and throughout the world impact on people's life and the environment. And it's last time we visited this in Malaysia, yeah, and your place also. It's, I think, I will just conclude by, you see, telling that is the great dedication, commitment, and for ordinary people, it's not possible to bring this science statement, and our commitment is very important. And now this year is also another important landmark here in Bangladesh. This microfinancing institutions and the Bangladesh Forum, we are trying to give an institutional form and also to create social business and 30 clubs, and so promise to create a new world.
Thank you so much.
Dream.
Thank you so much for inspiring us, for your contribution. And over to you, Farhia, for the next segment. Can I walk you out of the stage and help you find your seats? Thank you.
Hello. All right, amazing. I think everybody is a little bit tired, so I just want to quickly check the energy of the room. Can I get a hello? That is a sad hello. Can I get a bright hello like you really mean it? Awesome. Now I'm going to ask you to make a funny noise. Can I get a ooh, ooh? Really bad synchronization. I'm going to give you one more chance. Can I get a ooh, ooh? All right, awesome. Thank you so much. I hope that woke you up a little bit, because for the next segment, I'm super excited to announce who our speaker is. So 20 years ago, the Nobel Peace Prize recognized more than an individual or an institution. It recognized a powerful idea that peace can be built by expanding opportunity, restoring dignity, and creating systems that leaves no one behind. Today, the message continues to resonate across the world. We're honored to begin this segment with a special video message from the Chief Executive Officer of the Nobel Peace Center, Ms. Kirsten Flogstad. Could we please put our attention on the screens for a wonderful video message from Kirsten Flogstad.
Dear Professor Yunus and dear friends gathered for the 16th Social Business Day, I am so sorry I'm not able to be with you on this very special occasion, celebrating two remarkable milestones together. 50 years since Grameen Bank started its work, and 20 years since the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to Professor Yunus and Grameen Bank. My warmest congratulations to all of you and first and foremost to Professor Yunus on this double anniversary. In 2006, the Norwegian Nobel Committee honored Yunus and Grameen Bank for their efforts to create economic and social development from below. The award rested on a simple but powerful conviction that lasting peace cannot be achieved unless large population groups find a way to break out of poverty, and that microcredits can be one such means. 2 decades on, that conviction has lost none of its force. Around the world, millions of people, women above all, have been entrusted with a small loan and have repaid that trust with dignity, enterprise, and hope. This is peace built from below, one human being at a time. At the Peace Center, we work every single day to keep the ideas of the laureates alive and relevant to the world as it is today. In a time of widening inequality and fragile trust, the vision behind Grameen Bank, that poverty is not created by the poor, but by the systems around them, feels more urgent than ever. Therefore, thank you so much, Professor Yunus, for showing the world that economic justice and peace cannot be separated. And congratulations once again on 50 years of Grameen Bank and 20 years of the Nobel Peace Prize. And my warmest wishes for an inspiring social business day and for social businesses to truly become the language of peace in our fractured world. Thank you so much.
Our sincere thanks to Ms. Kirsten Flogstad for those thoughtful reflections. Next up, to continue this conversation, it is now my deep pleasure to welcome Mr. Kim Rexton Gronberg, Head of Marketing and Communications at the Nobel Peace Center. He will be sharing his reflections on how 20 years after the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to Professor Muhammad Yunus and Grameen Bank, why does this recognition remain relevant in today's world, and what lessons should future generations draw from it? Please welcome, with a round of applause, Mr. Kim.
Dear Excellencies, dear Professor Yunus, dear friends, poverty is a threat to peace. This was spoken by Professor Yunus in Oslo 20 years ago, and that message remains as relevant today as we still see rising inequality. And we know that these are not just social challenges, this is also a driver of instability and conflict. The 2006 Nobel Peace Prize sent a powerful message to the world, that peace is not only negotiated at the highest political level, it can be built from the ground up through opportunity and inclusion. At the Nobel Peace Center, we want to expand our understanding of what peace actually is, and the recognition of Grameen Bank and Professor Yunus did exactly that. It challenged a deeply rooted assumption that poverty is inevitable or somehow the responsibility of the poor themselves. Instead, it reframed poverty as a system failure, and more importantly, it showed that systems can be redesigned. What I find most interesting about this Peace Prize is how it all started out, which you've heard a lot about today. So I won't go into details about that, but I love the story about how these $27 to these 42 women was the seed of it all. This small action, of course, led to other bigger actions. When Professor Yunus asked the banks to replicate what he had done, they said no, so he had created his own bank. And the model of microcredit was born. But it was this first small action that was this main seed. And I really liked what you said earlier, how you should start in the small and not think about the big picture, because then it becomes much more feasible for all of us in this room. And I think we can all reflect back to a moment in our lives where we did a positive change that created joy in other people's lives and effect. So how can we energize these actions even more? Professor Yunus's ideas around social business can be an appealing framework, but what are the building blocks of the right actions? I want to highlight three things related to this Peace Prize. And I was so glad that you highlighted it earlier yourself, that imagination matters. Grameen began with a simple but radical question: what if we trusted the poor? That question changed millions of lives. And secondly, that dignity is non-negotiable. This was never just about loans, it was about restoring agency, especially for women who had been excluded from economic life. And third, systems can be changed, but only if we are willing to change them. The real power of the Grameen model is not on microcredit alone, but the courage to rethink the rules of the game. At the Nobel Peace Center, our mission is to carry these lessons forward, to connect new generations to the individuals and the ideas that have reshaped our world, and to remind us that change is possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in this morning session. As you know, we are running a bit late, so I have some important updates for all of you. While our photographers trying to capture a single moment, the story of Grameen continues. It didn't stop in Jobra, it didn't stop in Bangladesh, and today it enters a new chapter. As we celebrate these historic milestones, we are delighted to launch a year-long global celebration that will connect communities, universities, entrepreneurs, institutions, changemakers across the world. We call it the 50/20 celebration. You see the branding everywhere, and you can go to our web app, grameen50-20.org, log in, try to create your own event, gather your friends together, discuss about the strategies of how we can create a 3.0 world, invite friends, host yourself. If you are hosting an event, if you want to co-create something, you can do it in the media page. Let us know about your latest updates, and we'll broadcast this with our friends across the world. My colleagues at Yunus Center will be happy to assist you throughout the year. And who knows, maybe we'll bump into each other in another 50/20 celebration event. So as we conclude this morning session, I would like to thank all of you for joining us today. Now we break for 15 minutes. If you need to use the restroom, it's on the left side. If you need great Bangladeshi tea, it's at the back. If you need good coffee, it's also in the back. The marketplace is on the right side. And I invite all of you to join us for the first plenary at 12:40 p.m. And we'll break for lunch at 1:30 p.m. Thank you so much.